At a busy railway station, there was a beggar who survived by asking passengers for money. Every day, he begged people to travel on the trains. One day, while begging, he saw a tall, well-dressed man. The beggar thought, "This man looks rich. If I ask him for money, he will surely give me a good amount." He walked up to the man and begged. But instead of giving him money, the tall man looked at him and said, "You always ask from others, but have you ever given anything to anyone?" The beggar was surprised. He replied, "Sir, I am just a beggar. I have nothing to give. How can I give anything?" The tall man smiled and said, "If you have nothing to give, then you have no right to ask. I am a businessman. I believe in give and take. If you give me something, only then will I give you something in return." Saying this, the man boarded the train and left. The beggar sat there thinking deeply. "Maybe I don't get much money because I never give anything in return," he thought. "But I am just a beggar. What can I possibly give to others?" For 2 days he kept thinking. He had no answer. On the third day, as he sat near the station, he noticed some beautiful flowers growing nearby. An idea struck him. Why don't I give flowers to people who give me money? Excited, he picked a few flowers. That day, when he begged on the train, he gave a flower to everyone who gave him money. People were surprised but happy. They smiled, accepted the flowers, and gave him money willingly. From that day, the beggar started picking flowers every morning. He gave a flower to everyone who gave him alms. Slowly, he noticed something amazing. More people started giving him money. But he also realized something else. When he ran out of flowers, fewer people gave him alms. One day, while begging on the train, he saw the same tall man again. The beggar quickly went up to him and said, "Today, I have something to give you. If you give me money, I will give you some flowers in return." The tall man smiled, gave him money, and took the flowers. He said, "Wonderful. You have become a businessman like me." Once again, the beggar was deeply moved by his words. He realized that he was no longer just a beggar. As he stepped off the train, he looked up at the sky and shouted, "I am not a beggar anymore. I am a businessman." People around him thought he had gone mad, but he didn't care. 6 months later, at the same railway station, 2 well-dressed men were traveling. One of them smiled at the other and extended his hand for a handshake. "Do you recognize me?" he asked. The other man looked at him carefully and said, "No, I don't think we've met before." The first man laughed and said, "We have met not once, but twice. Don't you remember the beggar you once spoke to?" The second man was shocked. "Oh yes, you were the beggar I once refused to give money to. The second time I bought flowers from you, but today you look so different. What do you do now?" The first man smiled and said, "Yes, I was that beggar. But today I am a successful flower merchant. I am traveling to another city for business." He continued, "You taught me an important rule of life. We only receive when we give. That rule changed my life. I realized that I was never just a beggar. I was always a businessman, but I didn't see myself that way. People didn't give me alms. They were paying for the flowers I gave them. I used the money I earned to buy more flowers and became a merchant. Today I run a big flower business, thanks to the lesson you taught me." Both men smiled and continued their journey. Moral of the story. This story teaches us a powerful lesson. Success is not about where we start. It's about how we see ourselves. At first, the beggar saw himself as a helpless man who could only ask. But when he changed his mindset and started giving, his whole life changed. The rule of life is simple. When we give, we receive. When we believe in ourselves, the world believes in us. No dream is too big. No situation is too hopeless. If we think differently, act boldly, and believe in ourselves, we can change our lives. This version keeps the story simple and easy to understand while making it engaging and emotional. Let me know if you need any adjustments. If this story inspired you, hit the like button and share it with someone who needs this reminder. Comment below. What's one thing you've been postponing that you will start today?